All right, so let's talk about what we're going to do today. I really love this assignment. This is going to be kind of helping you understand what is happening at a molecular level at each point on 4 titration curves. And then the OWL is going to help you calculate what those pHs and concentrations are. So this is more of a conceptual view. Your OWL will be the calculation view. I hope it'll help pull all of this together. All right, so the answer sheet looks like this. The first thing in each of the pictures, there are 4 of them, right? So each graph has these 4 solutions. So each page is curve 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now for each curve, one of the things you have to do is write a net ionic equation. So I wanted to go over that real quick. When you are writing net ionic equations, I really recommend you going from the balanced chemical equation to the ionic equation to the net ionic. Because especially when you start getting into weak acids and weak bases, you're not going to have a lot of spectator ions. And you need to write everything out so you're sure to get the correct reaction. So I'm going to do the first one with you. Okay? And the first one says that we're going to titrate a solution of HCl and sodium hydroxide. All right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write HCl plus sodium hydroxide gives the salt and water. Okay? Now, my ionic equation is going to be when I take all of these species, each one individually, and dump them in water. Do they or do they not dissolve? Well, we know HCl does, don't we? Because it's a strong. We know sodium hydroxide does because it's a strong. We know that sodium chloride does because sodium is a NAP, so we know that that is going to dissolve. And water does not. Water stays the same. So I go through these and I say, okay, chloride, chloride, sodium, sodium. What am I left with? H plus OH minus gives water. That is going to be the net ionic equation, right? So let's do the second one together. The second curve is going to be acetic acid and sodium hydroxide. Okay? So I'm going to write my balanced equation, sodium hydroxide plus acetic acid goes to sodium acetate plus water. Right? Let's write out the net ionic. That dissolves in water, so I get NaO plus and OH minus because it's a strong. This does not, however, does it? This is a weak acid. So it really doesn't dissolve in water. Goes to, that's a sodium salt, so that dissolves, right? Because that's a NAP. And water. So this dissolves, this does not, because that's weak. That dissolves because that's a sodium salt with a NAP, and then there's water. So I go through, I get rid of my sodiums, and that's it. So my net ionic equation, HC2H3O2 plus OH minus gives C2H3O2 minus plus water. Okay, so I just wanted to go over, you can do the rest of these. I just wanted to go over, remember when you're ever asked to write a net ionic equation, you do your balanced chemical equation, then dissolve everything in water if it can, cancel like terms, and write your net ionic. Okay, so what are you going to do today? So if you notice, it's got numbers, and each number is associated with a particle diagram. And this is how I did it. I started here, and I just put the number of the picture that represented where I am on here, right? So I'm going to give you the legend. You just tell here, what particle diagram is where you are at A, B, C, and D. And then once you write the numbers under here, it's just easier then to fill in this part with the values that go with it. Once you finish that for today, you are going to work either on your OWL or your 8.5 topic worksheet.